Hi everyone, I'm Kathy and welcome to my kitchen. Tonight we're going to do another favorite dish. Everyone loves meatloaf. And my hubby loves it too. But I thought I would take a different twist on our meatloaf tonight. A lot of times we have the usual meatloaf, the plain, nothing special, but it's still good. And then I just cover it with some really good brown gravy on top with some mashed potatoes and green beans. Tonight I think I'm going to take a different angle and we're going to go a la Italian style. Let's get cooking. For tonight's meatloaf recipe, these are the ingredients that you will need. What I have is a little over a pound of extra lean ground beef and Worcestershire sauce, I never can say that right, Italian breadcrumbs, some red wine vinegar, ketchup, onion, a bell pepper, an egg, and some brown sugar. And to make it really Italian style, you have the mozzarella cheese, and my secret easy seasoning is a package of beefy onion soup. Now let's start making this wonderful meatloaf. In the bowl I placed the ground beef and I'm going to put in 1 cup of Italian breadcrumbs, 1 egg. I took a medium-sized onion and only used half of it, and I have it finely chopped. And then half of a medium-sized bell pepper, finely chopped. I'm going to take the Worcestershire sauce and I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons. And then the recipe secret, it even says it on the package. The beefy, need my scissors to open this up. The beefy onion dried soup mix. And that really gives you all the flavor that you need for this meatloaf. And just take your hands and work it. Mix it all in. Set the oven at 350 degrees and prepare a pan. What I like to do is take a big baking pan, line it with aluminum foil, spray it a little bit with this oil so that your meatloaf doesn't stick. By adding the breadcrumbs and the eggs, it gives it a binding agent for your meat to stick together and not fall apart when it cooks. So that's important. Now that we have this all nicely mixed together, we're going to get the pan to start putting our loaf together. We're going to take this mozzarella cheese and stuff it in the middle of the meatloaf. So what I'm going to do is cut it in slices so we can lay it in the middle of the meatloaf. You want to make sure you get this type of mozzarella that's fresh and in the water. If you get the dried kind or the shredded ones that you get in the bags, they're not going to melt as well. So you want to have a nice gooey cheese in the middle of this wonderful meatloaf. Let's get the pan and start putting everything together. I have the baking dish. This is probably a 9 by 13. And I lined it with aluminum foil and gave it a shot of oil so that my meatloaf will not stick. I'm going to take half of my meatloaf mixture and kind of pat it down and make it a loaf shape if you can. And spread it out. Now because I have chopped up onions and green peppers in here, the meat will want to kind of split in some areas, and that's okay. Just kind of pinch them back together. It'll all be good. And I probably have this spread out at about an inch thick. And now what I'm going to do is take this wonderful mozzarella and oops, I don't think I'm going to use the whole thing. There, let's do this. We want this to have lots of gooey cheese running out when we cut into it. So let's place as much as we can in this center. Then you take the remaining meat, kind of pack it all together a little bit, and until you get a ball, and then kind of start flattening it out. Flatten it out as much as you can so it's about the same size as the bottom one. Alright, so I'm going to try to smoosh it down some more here. I'm going to try to pinch the bottom layer and the top layer together as much as I can. Kind of cover up that cheese. When it's just hubby and I, you know, I'm only using a little over a pound of ground beef. When I made it with the family, 2 boys, 2 hungry teenage boys, it would be a couple of pounds of ground beef. Now that we've got the loaf assembled, and I've got lots of leftover mozzarella cheese, which could make a wonderful caprese salad. And there we are with the loaf. Now for the glaze. For the glaze, I like it a little sweet and tangy. So I have placed in this bowl a ½ a cup of ketchup. I'm going to pour in a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And to give that tangy flavor, I'm going to pour in a tablespoon of red wine vinegar and the 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And I'll mix this around. I'll take this and I'll pour half of it on top of the meatloaf and spread it all around the top. And there you go. The meatloaf is ready to go in the oven. It's going to bake at 350 degrees for about 40 minutes. And then after 40 minutes, I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put the rest of the glaze on and let it cook for another 15 minutes. Now the meatloaf has finished baking for 40 minutes, and we'll take it out and we're going to take the rest of the glaze and put it on top. You can see the gooey cheese coming out of the side there. And it smells so good. This is going to be yummy, yummy, yummy. Then we're going to put it back in the oven for another 15 minutes and the meatloaf will be done. The meatloaf is done. Look at that. Yummy. All the gooey cheese coming out of it. And when the leftover mozzarella, I made this nice little fresh Caprisi salad. And here is my wonderful cheesy cauliflower casserole. And I'll have that in an upcoming video. I hope you like this recipe and I hope you try it and let me know how it turns out for you. And please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe down below and click on that bell so that you don't miss next week's fabulous recipe. Cheers! Okay, hubby, dinner time.